was like a long gestating passion project, that there was a moment like, will it get made?
Exactly. We all waited, and we were the original team in a project.
As far as we know. As far as we know. Cut to Tobias being like, no, there were 26 on it.
I don't want to talk about work.
Is it because what they're saying is true?
When I read the script, I knew nothing about this story. And so the whole thing was a revelation to me. For subject matter that is true crime and could be salacious, it felt astonishingly human. It was a character piece. It was about this extraordinary woman, a heroic woman who did things that the systems couldn't achieve.
My dad's a paramedic fireman. My brother serves in the Army, and I find so oftentimes we don't really celebrate those kind of heroes, nurses. I liked the idea of honoring Amy. I got a little nervous about the idea of, telling this story, but talking to Tobias and understanding the kind of filmmaker he was, I was so excited because he has such a great understanding of humanity and compassion, and nothing feels cheap in his work.
I was a big fan of Tobias as well, and we had talked about it with his films, The Hunt and Hijacking and A War. And if I'm being honest, it was less about the story at first. It was more about the relationship and who the team is, and do I feel like I would gel with that? I played football for a while, and when you do that and you come into this world, people don't really give you an opportunity like that. And then he made the decision to bring me on, and I was like, okay, let's do it. And it was just that initial connection with him that drew me to it.
Insulin in her system, it's a double medication error, which is really rare.
We understand that you work with a Charlie Cullen. Could he be involved in this?
True crime as a genre, it's not even an art form because it doesn't really offer anything, does it? It's kind of lost in the darkness. We can all be fascinated about terrible things that happen in this world, but to tell stories about them give us a different responsibility. Then it's suddenly about humanizing, finding reasons. What can we learn from this? How can we be inspired?
With this film, there's an extraordinary book written by a guy called Charles Graeber. What became clear was the amount of damage. What he did was monstrous and unforgivable, but this person was extraordinarily damaged, and part of the thing was how he was ever allowed anywhere near people that were vulnerable.
Amy actually saw Charlie, and she loved him and cared about him. She was able to work with the detectives, I think only because she didn't cut herself off from that. She reminded Charlie of how much she loved him and how much she cared for him, and that at the end of the day, he's a human being, and he may have made terrible mistakes and done terrible things, but he's human.
I felt that this story was about Amy conquering something impossible, something the whole system couldn't stop, with humanity. Let's look at how we can actually reach out and touch each other, and that will change the world.